Gold Rush exclusive. Fred Lewis runs out of pay dirt. The veteran team in a scramble on tonight's Gold Rush for discovery. Fred Lewis is still struggling with his team of scrappy veterans and his claim he has not had much luck with, as of yet. If you have been following along, the journey for Fred began with a robust bang, and has slowly but surely melted away like warmed-up permafrost as problems within his ranks of war-seasoned veterans has yielded an inaugural season as a gold miner that is not making any headway. And as his mentor Parker Schnebel is doing well and raking in gold, as is Tony Beats and even Rick Ness, Parker's former employee. Fred, a former medic and Special Forces veteran, is finding out that being a boss and managing men is a whole lot different than being Parker's sidekick on a gold rush. Parker's Trails, where we were first introduced to him. The series makes mining look pretty easy. Dig up dirt, dump dirt into wash plant, and shake in a giant sluicer until the tailings separate from the pay. And bingo, gold is found in the mats thanks to gravity and motion. In reality, it's a huge manpower-heavy initiative that requires a huge output of money, payroll, and patience, and a keen sense of understanding how gold moves through mountains, rivers, and gravitational erosion. It also relies on a bit of luck and keeping machinery running. In TV shows as exclusive clip, we meet up with Alex Voigt, who is running the dozer, who says that team member Kyle Pletzk is working overtime. Kyle is former U.S. Army infantry who was injured in combat during a rollover accident in Afghanistan, where he had many broken bones, including a shattered pelvis. Alex says, "Kyle's really having to work like a madman trying to keep up. I kind of feel bad the faster I load the more tailings I make, and, well, the more he's got to work." Foreman and Air Force veteran Kendall Madden, who fans know is from mining royalty and counts Freddie Dodge as a relative, notes the 3 buckets of pay dirt is all that is left as Fred Lewis comes into the scene. Fred learns the dire situation from Kendall and Kyle. As the pay has run out, Kyle says, "We're out of dirt." Kendall notes that the pay dirt has been already processed through the machinery at the plant and that they must conserve fuel and to shut her down early. This news is soul-crushing because everything's working so far and back on track, but this is another hiccup in Lewis' operation that has had personnel and equipment issues from the get-go. Kendall says, "We just don't have pay because we don't have the machines." Fred is given the details as the men all look defeated. To counter this setback, Fred proposes a new work schedule. He says, "This sucks, damn it. We're gonna have to do something else. Keep that Volvo running full-time." He adds, "We're gonna do night shifts, I think. That's the only way to do it. Yes, stockpiling is day and night, to keep the plant up and running." Fred explains the solve for the problem. He says, "I am gonna put you, Kendall and Alex, if you guys all have the most experience, give it a good week. Let's just do a whole week of night shifts and see how that helps. I have got to do something, man. I have decided it was the best thing to do, was pretty much going to try and keep things moving constantly. If we can stockpile enough pay and to get everything set so the night crew can pull every bit of dirt out of here, we can." Gold Rush airs Fridays at 9 p.m. on Discovery. Gold Rush exclusive. Fred Lewis runs out of pay dirt. The veteran team in a scrambling icy winds of the Alaskan frontier are as unforgiving as the competition itself on Gold Rush. For years, Fred Lewis has been a staple of Discovery's hit mining series, known for his can-do attitude, military precision, and tireless work ethic. However, after a string of successful seasons, Fred's team finds itself in a tight spot as the pay dirt seems to be running out faster than they can process it. This season, things are looking grim, and Fred's once solid footing in the gold-rich terrain is slipping. The pressure is mounting, not just from the gold itself, but from his crew, who are growing desperate as they search for their next big find. The team's fate this year is uncertain, and Fred Lewis faces the hardest decision of his mining career. Does he pull the plug, or will he manage to turn things around in the 11th hour? The rise and fall of Fred Lewis. Fred Lewis is no stranger to adversity. A veteran of the U.S. Army, Fred brought his disciplined and determined approach to mining. His journey on Gold Rush began with the ambition to build a legacy, not just for himself, but for his crew, who came to rely on his leadership and resolve. From the very first moment Fred appeared on screen, he seemed to be a perfect fit for the grueling work that mining in Alaska demands. In previous seasons, Fred's team had been a picture of resilience. Setbacks through broken equipment, unexpected weather events, and even personal injuries. Fred maintained his optimism, rallying his team with the promise of riches to be found in the earth. It wasn't just the gold he was after. Fred sought something deeper, a sense of accomplishment, self-reliance, and a place in the long tradition of gold miners who made their mark on history. Yet, as the years have passed, the landscape has changed. It's no longer just about the hunt for gold. Competition from other mining teams has increased, and the pressure to meet production quotas has never been higher. The most telling sign that Fred's luck may have finally run out is the situation his team finds itself in now. Running low on paid dirt and struggling to find a new source of rich gold deposits. This season, Fred and his crew have found themselves scraping the bottom of the barrel, digging in areas that had once been abundant but are now devoid of the precious metal. Even the latest paid dirt sites have yielded disappointing results, forcing the veteran crew into a scramble to turn things around. A team under pressure. The collapse of Fred's paid dirt production doesn't only threaten his bottom line, it's shaking the confidence of his crew. The veteran miners, who have been with him for years, are starting to question if Fred's time is up. At the forefront of this growing tension is Fred's right-hand man, the experienced miner and mechanic who has been a key part of the operation since the beginning. While Fred has always relied on his military background to drive the team forward, his crew is beginning to question whether his methods are outdated for the modern gold rush. As Fred faces mounting doubts about his leadership, his crew's morale starts to slip, and the once thriving operation feels like it's on the brink of collapse. Fred's optimism has always been his greatest strength, but as the dirt dries up and the gold doesn't seem to materialize, even his trademark positive attitude is beginning to wear thin. At the same time, the reality of the financial pressure is beginning to sink in. With millions of dollars on the line, every decision Fred makes could be the difference between a breakthrough and failure. Fred's other crew members, who have invested their time, energy, and hopes in the venture, are also starting to feel the strain. Each of them has given so much of themselves over the years, believing that Fred's expertise would eventually lead to success. However, the harsh truth is setting in. The once promising gold source is drying up. As Fred scrambles to find new deposits, his crew is feeling the weight of uncertainty. The impact is not just on Fred's leadership, but also on the team dynamic. In the heat of battle, Fred and his crew are beginning to show cracks in their unity. The stress of constant failure is taking its toll. Crew members are finding it harder to trust Fred's decisions, and frustration is growing. With each passing day, the team drifts further away from the tight-knit unit it once was. The dangers of stagnation. The challenges Fred faces are not unique to his team. Over the years, many of the long-standing teams on Gold Rush have found themselves in similar predicaments. As mining technology has advanced, so too has the level of competition. No longer can a crew simply rely on their gut instinct and a pickaxe to find gold. Modern miners now employ high-tech tools, large-scale equipment, and precise data analytics to maximize their chances of success. While Fred's crew is built on heart and hard work, the gap between their traditional methods and newer, more advanced operations is widening. This shift in the mining landscape is particularly felt by Fred's team. They've always prided themselves on their self-sufficiency and independence, but these attributes are becoming less valuable as the competition increases. In the cutthroat world of gold mining, efficiency and scale often trump experience and grit. For Fred, the decision to continue relying on outdated techniques could be catastrophic. His loyalty to his crew and his values is admirable, but it might be holding him back from adopting new strategies that could save his operation. On top of that, Fred's commitment to giving his team autonomy, something he's always seen as vital, has made it harder for him to steer them in the direction they need to go. There's also the looming question of Fred's future in mining. Has the industry passed him by? Is his gold rush dream finally over? For a man who has built his identity on grit and determination, this is not an easy pill to swallow. Yet, as his competitors surge ahead with cutting-edge technology and more efficient methods, Fred faces the possibility that his time in the game may be coming to an end. The scramble for pay dirt. With the pressure mounting, Fred has no choice but to launch an all-out scramble to find new pay dirt. The team has scoured every inch of their current mining site, but so far, nothing has.